The Earth of the 22nd century is a battered, fractured world. Cities, once glittering hubs of human achievement, now lie in ruins. The planet is scarred from centuries of exploitation, its ecosystems collapsing under the weight of humanity's mistakes. The once thriving landscapes are now barren wastelands, oceans polluted, and skies thick with the remnants of industrial chaos. The air smells faintly of burning ozone, a constant reminder of the planet's decline. Advanced technology, once thought to hold the answers, cannot undo the devastation that humans themselves have wrought. Earth is slowly choking on its own excess. The political landscape is just as fractured. Nations, no longer united under common goals, fight for dwindling resources. Corruption seeps into every government. The gap between the haves and the have-nots grows wider each day. The rich live in self-sustaining enclaves, while the poor scavenge in the streets, scraping together what little remains. An oppressive silence hangs over the world, broken only by the distant hum of automated machines working to maintain the last vestiges of human civilization. On the galactic scale, Earth is nothing. Alien species view humanity as primitive and inconsequential, their own civilizations thriving in ways Earth can only dream of. Humanity's efforts to reach the stars have been meek at best, an embarrassing blip in the cosmic timeline. Earth's place in the universe, it seems, is already decided, insignificant and forgotten. In the heart of this broken world stands Captain Elena Cruz, a leader not defined by the Earth's struggles, but by her unyielding resolve to change its fate. She's a woman who sees beyond the ruins, who believes that humanity's strength lies not in what it's lost, but in what it can rebuild. Elena has never been one to bow to despair. Instead, she channels her grief and determination into her mission, humanity's first intergalactic exploration. Her past is one of pain. She lost her parents to an environmental disaster when she was a child, a loss that marked her deeply and shaped her unshakable drive. The trauma of that loss is a silent companion, but rather than breaking her, it fuels her determination to prove that humanity is capable of so much more. She isn't just leading for Earth's future, she's leading for the sake of the past she can never undo. As the countdown to the launch of Earth's first intergalactic fleet nears, Elena stands before her crew, her voice unwavering. "We are more than this planet's scars," she says, eyes burning with purpose. "We are humanity, and we have the strength to rise." But rallying her crew and securing the mission isn't enough. She must also convince Earth's fractured leadership that this mission is worth the cost. The councilmen sneer at the idea, dismissing her as a dreamer, an idealist who doesn't understand the real stakes. "You want to take humanity's last resources and send them into the stars. To what end, Captain?" they ask. Elena's response is simple: to show the galaxy that humanity is here, and we will not be ignored. The stakes are higher than any of them realize. Elena and her crew are not just embarking on a mission of exploration, they are carrying the weight of humanity's survival on their shoulders. This mission will determine whether Earth is worthy of a place among the stars, or whether it will remain a forgotten, decaying world. As the final preparations are made, Elena faces a mounting resistance from Earth's political leaders, who see the mission as a waste. Resources are limited, and many feel that sending a fleet to an uncharted part of the galaxy is nothing more than a gamble. They argue that Earth's problems, hunger, poverty, pollution, demand immediate action, not distant exploration. Elena knows they are right, but she also knows that if humanity doesn't find a way to prove its worth, it will never be anything more than a dying planet. As she stands before the council, Elena's voice is firm. This mission is our last chance to prove we are more than just survivors. We are a species with potential. We will rise, or we will fall. But if we don't try, we will never know what we could have been. The council remains unconvinced, but Elena has no time to waste. She turns to the fleet, her voice determined. To the stars for Earth, for all of us. Outside, the stars beckon, an unknown and intimidating frontier. But the future is uncertain, and the galaxy is watching. Humanity's every move will be scrutinized. Elena's mission isn't just about exploration. It's about proving that humanity deserves a place in the galaxy. She knows that to succeed, she must show the universe that despite Earth's many flaws, humanity has something powerful to offer: creativity, adaptability, and the ability to fight against impossible odds. But the pressure weighs on her. Every decision, every command, feels like it could be humanity's last. The eyes of the galaxy are upon her, and the stakes are higher than ever. As the mission progresses, Elena grapples with the burden of responsibility. Her crew looks to her for leadership, and yet she fears that they see her not as a visionary, but as a symbol of their own desperation. They trust her, but does she trust herself? I don't know if we're ready, Elena admits to her second-in-command, Commander Lyle, that I don't think we have a choice. If we don't do this, if we don't show the galaxy that Earth has value, we'll be nothing. Lyle, ever the pragmatist, places a hand on her shoulder. Then let's make sure we show them. We're human, Elena. That means we can make things happen, even when it seems impossible. Elena nods, the weight of her decision pressing down on her. This mission, this final shot at redemption for Earth, will either prove her faith in humanity's potential or crush it entirely. The universe is watching, and humanity's place in the stars is hanging in the balance. As the fleet prepares for launch, Elena stands alone, gazing at the stars. The unknown stretches before them, but this is humanity's moment to prove its worth, to show the universe that no matter how far they've fallen, humanity can always rise again. The vast expanse of space stretches before Captain Elena Cruz, a canvas of blackness speckled with distant stars. To her ship, the Prometheus, hums with quiet energy as it cruises towards an uncharted star system. Around her, the fleet follows, their destination an unknown frontier. For the first time in humanity's history, they are voyaging into the unknown, and there's a palpable sense of hope among the crew. The mission is clear: explore, connect, prove humanity's worth in the galactic arena. Cruz stands at the helm, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across the screens. Keep your focus, everyone. We've got a long journey ahead. Her voice is steady, but beneath it, the weight of the mission presses heavily on her shoulders. She knows the stakes. This mission could either cement humanity's place in the stars, or it could be the beginning of their downfall. The first warning comes in the form of a strange distortion in the comms. It's subtle at first, a faint crackle on the frequency, but as the distortion grows, a sense of unease spreads among the crew. Cruz looks at the tactical readouts, her instincts flaring. We're not alone. Without warning, the fleet's scanners pick up an unfamiliar fleet of ships. Their design is sleek, almost predatory, and they appear without prior detection, emerging from a cloaking field. The ships are the Zathrians, a race known throughout the galaxy for their ruthless conquest. Their reputation precedes them: advanced, militaristic, and cold. The Zathrians view humanity as nothing more than a primitive species. Before the humans can react, the Zathrians open fire, their ships unleashing a devastating barrage. Cruz watches helplessly as the first salvo hits, and the Prometheus shudders under the impact. Their technology's light years ahead of ours. One of the officers shouts. Cruz's mind races. We need to get out of here, now. With alarms blaring, the human fleet is forced into a retreat. The Prometheus limps, barely escaping the blast radius, as debris fills the void. The Zathrians have made their point. They are the dominant force. As the fleet pulls back, Cruz feels a gnawing sense of failure. Their first encounter with the galaxy's true powers has not been a welcome one. The fleet limps back to Earth, damaged and battered. The journey is slow, and the weight of the attack hangs heavy on every ship. The once hopeful crew now feels the sting of reality. Their hopes of joining the galactic community have been shattered by the brutal superiority of the Zathrians. Back on Earth, panic spreads quickly. News of the Zathrian assault leaks, and humanity's dream of space exploration is suddenly at risk. The airwaves are filled with fear. Could Earth truly survive if these alien conquerors returned? Cruz is summoned to Earth's command center. The leaders of Earth's fractured political factions are waiting for her, their faces grim. This is a failure, one politician says, his tone accusing. You put all of humanity's resources into this mission, and look where we are. We're not ready for the galaxy. Cruz stands tall, the weight of the failure pressing against her, but she refuses to give in. We survived. That's not nothing, she replies, her voice a sharp contrast to the defeat surrounding her. Humanity is not defined by one setback. We will find another way forward. But not everyone is convinced. The leaders are split. Some call for abandoning the space program, while others push to keep trying. Earth's future hangs in the balance, and the political divide deepens. Cruz knows she'll have to do more than just survive the Zathrians. She'll need to prove humanity's worth in the face of overwhelming odds. In the wake of the attack, Earth's political landscape grows increasingly fractured. The attack has exposed humanity's weaknesses, both technologically and politically, and some argue that retreating is the only viable option. The once united front of Earth's leaders now splinters into factions, each with its own vision of humanity's future. On the streets, protests erupt. The people are divided. One side demands retaliation to show the galaxy that humanity will not back down. The other side fears another attack, warning that Earth is not ready for war. Amid this chaos, the military begins to prepare for a potential conflict with the Zathrians, whose next move remains uncertain. Admiral Davies stands before his command staff, the weight of his decisions pressing on him. We must prepare for war, but we must also seek peace, he mutters, his voice a mix of frustration and uncertainty. His heart says one thing, diplomacy, but his duty to Earth demands another. But Cruz sees a different path. She meets with Davies privately. We can't just be victims. But you at the galaxy see what we're capable of. Captain, we barely made it out alive, Davies warns, his voice a mix of concern and realism. We're not ready to face them again. Cruz's eyes are filled with determination. Then we get ready. We have no choice but to prove them wrong. She walks away from the meeting, her resolve stronger than ever. The struggle for Earth's future is just beginning, and she knows the road ahead will be fraught with challenges. But she believes in humanity's potential. As Earth's political leadership falters, Captain Elena Cruz stands as humanity's last hope. Her eyes are set on the stars, her mission clear. She will lead humanity back into space, this time not to prove their worth to the Zathrians, but to show the galaxy that Earth is more than a forgotten backwater world. The resistance to the Zathrians grows, and Cruz becomes a symbol of defiance. Humanity, unified under her leadership, begins to rebuild. Scientists work day and night to develop new technologies, while the military strengthens its defenses. The people of Earth rally behind Cruz, inspired by her unyielding spirit. We are not weak, she tells them. We will rise. That as Cruz rallies Earth's forces, the weight of the mission begins to take its toll on her. In private moments, she struggles with self-doubt. Can she truly lead humanity to greatness, or is she merely clinging to an impossible dream? Her past, marked by personal loss, continues to haunt her. Every decision she makes, every life she puts at risk, weighs on her heart. But Cruz knows that there is no turning back. For the sake of her crew, for the sake of Earth, she will push forward. The universe is vast, but humanity's resolve is even greater. We will fight for our place, she whispers, staring out at the stars, and we will make them see us. The stark metallic walls of Earth's command center buzzed with the hum of anticipation. In the heart of the room, fleet leaders and military commanders, their faces hardened by the defeat at the hands of the Zathrians, gathered around the massive holographic table.
The air was thick with unease. A fleet of ships, humanity's first serious step into the galaxy, had been reduced to smoldering debris. Yet the military's resolve was unyielding. We fight them head-on. We have to show the galaxy we won't back down. General Ramirez's voice cut through the tension, his eyes sharp with determination. Captain Elena Cruz, her brow furrowed, stepped forward. "And if brute force doesn't work?" she asked, her voice steady, despite the storm churning within her. "We can't simply throw everything we have at them. We need to think, adapt." Her words hung in the air like an unsung challenge. She was more than a military leader. She was a strategist, someone who saw beyond the immediate firefight. Humanity's ingenuity, its relentless creativity, could not be overlooked. Adaptability is humanity's true weapon, Cruz continued, her gaze unwavering. "We need to reverse engineer the Zathrian technology, their weapons, their ships, everything they've built. That's the way forward." It was a radical idea, but it was humanity's only shot at survival. The military could not grasp it, but Cruz had faith in her people's ability to outthink their enemies. As Cruz's words resonated in the room, the rest of the leaders exchanged uncertain glances. The time for direct confrontation was passing. The battle for humanity's future would be won through innovation. But would it be enough? The bridge of the Resolute was abuzz with activity. A looming message from an alien race flickered across the screen. One of the lesser-known factions that had agreed to meet with Cruz's crew. Alien ships, unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, hovered near the coordinates they'd set for the meeting. Some of these races, fiercely protective of their space, had never considered human beings worthy of their time. Yet something about Earth's struggle had caught their attention. "Do you really think they'll help us?" Lieutenant Kessler whispered, eyeing the alien ships through the viewport. "Or are we just a means to an end?" Cruz, standing beside him, couldn't deny the truth in his words. The universe was filled with skepticism about humanity's place in it. Would the aliens truly help, or were they simply waiting for the right moment to strike? The meeting was tense. Ambassador Therok, a member of the Carathian race, spoke with measured words. "We have seen your resolve, human, but many in our council believe your kind's aggression will only bring chaos." Cruz leaned forward, her expression firm. "Then join us, and prove us wrong. Help us prove that we're more than a mistake in the galaxy's design." The weight of her words seemed to shift the air. The Carathians weren't just hesitant, they were testing humanity's true worth. But trust wasn't easily earned. As the meeting ended, Cruz felt the cold sting of doubt. Who could she trust in the galaxy? And how could she trust the allies she'd just made? The Zathrians weren't the only threat humanity faced now. Internal betrayals were beginning to fester. Captain Elena Cruz stood at the command center once again. But this time, something had shifted. The heavy burden of leadership was no longer just about survival. It was about proving a point to the entire galaxy. The crew had followed her through the darkest moments of their journey, but now their resolve was hardening, just as hers had. They weren't just trying to survive, they were fighting for their place in the stars. Innovation began to bloom. The first prototype of a reverse-engineered Zathrian weapon, a weapon no one thought human ingenuity could replicate, hummed to life on the workbench. Cruz's vision was becoming a reality. "We can do this," she said quietly, staring at the hum of the engine. "We will not be the weak ones in this fight." As the prototype's success reverberated throughout the crew, morale shifted. The engineers who once doubted their abilities were now the ones crafting cutting-edge technology. The soldiers who had once feared the Zathrians now stood taller. Cruz's belief in humanity's potential was infectious. It was more than a victory of technology. It was a rallying cry. But as humanity's strength grew, so did the tension. The Zathrians had yet to show their full hand, and with it came the realization what had begun as a survival mission had become a symbol of something much larger. Cruz was no longer just a captain. She was humanity's last hope to show the galaxy that humans were a force to be reckoned with. Admiral Davis stood at the helm of the Resolute, staring into the abyss of space. It was quiet, almost serene. Yet beneath that calm exterior, a storm was brewing within him. The conversation with Cruz lingered in his mind, Her belief in humanity's resilience was unwavering. But Davies could not shake his own doubts. Was it right to push for more? Would humanity's future be determined by the blade, or could they negotiate a peaceful resolution? "I can't follow her, Commander Holt," one of Davies' most trusted officers muttered from behind. "She's leading us to war." Davies sighed deeply, torn between his loyalty to Cruz and his instinct for diplomacy. The Cruz division was widening. Those who supported Cruz's path felt emboldened by her vision, while those who shared Davies' more cautious approach grew uneasy. Peace may be the only way out, Davies whispered to himself, but at what cost? His decision to explore peace negotiations with the Zathrians was controversial, and it felt like betrayal to those who believed humanity's only chance was to stand and fight. As Davies' internal battle reached its peak, the Cruz division grew. The war against the Zathrians wasn't just an external threat anymore. It was a fracture within humanity itself. And as the day of decision loomed, Davies realized the hardest battle would be the one inside his own soul. The Resolute surged forward through the stars, a symbol of humanity's indomitable. Despite the fractures within the crew, despite the tension that filled every room, there was an undeniable strength in the air. The universe may have laughed at humanity's naive ambitions, but Earth would not go quietly into the dark. "Do you ever think we've gone too far?" Lieutenant Kessler asked, his voice heavy with doubt. "What's the cost of all this progress?" Cruz, standing at the command station, paused. She knew the stakes. Every victory they'd won came at a price. Resources were dwindling. Crew members were exhausted. The ethical boundaries were becoming blurrier by the day. "We're fighting for a future," Cruz said firmly, her gaze never wavering from the stars ahead. "We may not be perfect, we may be flawed, but we are human, and that's why we'll rise." She turned to face her crew. The weight of her words, the promise of hope, was all they needed to hear. In that moment, humanity's resolve crystallized. No matter the odds, they would rise above.
The Resolute continued its journey. The crew knew the Zathrians would soon strike again, and the path forward would be filled with uncertainty. But one thing was clear: humanity had no intention of losing. Against all odds, they would fight, survive, and prove to the galaxy that they were more than just a nuisance. They were a force to be reckoned with. The stars beyond Earth's orbit shimmered like 1,000 burning eyes. Ships, both human and alien, lined up in a display of power and unity, their engines humming softly in the vast silence of space. Massive warships, sleek transport vessels, and even smaller reconnaissance crafts drifted in formation, a breathtaking sight of intricate technology and raw purpose. The fleet was prepared, or so it seemed. Captain Cruz stood at the helm, her eyes scanning the black expanse of space. The tension in the air was palpable, thick with anticipation. This wasn't just a battle for survival, it was a battle for humanity's future, for its place among the stars. The Zathrians were coming, and they would either fall or force humanity to bend to their will. Cruz knew that the weight of the galaxy itself seemed to hang on her decisions. She turned to her crew, her trusted officers, their faces grim with the same understanding. They had no illusions about the enormity of the challenge ahead, but Cruz, despite the storm raging in her chest, remained a rock. "Prepare yourselves," she said, her voice steady. "We fight not just for Earth, we fight for every world that has been crushed beneath the heel of an empire that thought they were invincible. We show the universe that humanity will never be subjugated." Her words sparked something in the crew, an unspoken bond, a resolve, and yet Cruz couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that the battle ahead would not only test their strength, but their very identity. They were on the cusp of a new chapter. How it would end, she couldn't know. All she could do was prepare. The Zathrians were close now. The first wave of their fleet would arrive within hours. Cruz stared at the tactical map, her mind racing. She could see the countdown ticking away, a reminder that there was no time for hesitation. The order was simple: destroy the Zathrian fleet, wipe them out before they could attack. But Cruz's mind couldn't let go of the alternative. The second option, annihilation, would guarantee victory, but it would also ensure the extinction of the Zathrian race. Was that the right choice? Could she, in good conscience, destroy an entire species, even if it meant the survival of humanity? Could Earth really call itself a beacon of hope if it became as ruthless as its enemies? "I've seen their worlds," Cruz muttered under her breath. "I've seen their people. Is this who we've become?" Her thoughts were interrupted by a sharp voice behind her. "We don't have time for this, Captain," Commander Vance said, his tone harsh but not without concern. "We can't afford to hesitate. The Zathrians won't. We fight, or we die." "But at what cost?" Cruz countered, turning to face him. "The future of humanity is at stake. Yes, but so is the future of the galaxy. We have to do more than survive, Vance. We have to rise." The crew stood in silence, the weight of her words settling over them. Could they show the galaxy a new way, a way where war didn't have to mean death? The choice was hers to make, and the consequences would resonate across the stars. The answer came in the form of a third option, something neither the Zathrians nor any other species could have predicted. Cruz decided to take a different approach, one that would showcase humanity's creativity. She gathered the best minds from Earth's scientific community, and with the assistance of their alien allies, they began work on a weapon like no other. This was not just another tool of destruction, it was a testament to humanity's ability to adapt, to innovate. With alien technology, reverse engineered and fused with human ingenuity, the team created a weapon capable of neutralizing the Zathrian threat without obliterating them entirely. The weapon was based on a unique energy manipulation technology, one that could disable the Zathrian ships without killing the crew inside. It was humanity's answer to the galaxy's perception of them, a species capable of turning the tide without becoming monsters in the process. As the weapon underwent its first test, Cruz couldn't help but watch in awe. The results were far beyond what they had hoped for. The energy pulses emitted by the device were strong enough to incapacitate an entire fleet without so much as singeing the hulls. It was a game changer. Humanity had, once again, proven that it could rise to any challenge. The day before the final confrontation, Cruz stood before her crew, her eyes bright with the fire of determination. "We're not just fighting for Earth," she began, her voice steady and filled with hope. "We're fighting for every planet that dreams of peace, for every species that wishes to live without fear. We will show them what humanity is capable of." Her words echoed in the hearts of every soldier, every ally. "We rise together." The battle had begun. Zathrian warships, vast and imposing, cut through the stars with relentless speed. Earth's fleet, armed with the newly developed weapon, stood poised and ready. The sheer scale of the battle was overwhelming, with explosions lighting up the dark void, and the constant hum of energy shields colliding with beams of deadly fire. As the Zathrians charged forward, confident in their victory, they were met with the unexpected. The weapon fired, sending pulses of energy that disabled entire sections of their fleet in an instant. The Zathrians, caught off guard, struggled to respond, their once impressive superiority crumbling beneath the might of human ingenuity. Human ships, once considered weak in comparison, fought alongside their alien allies with unrelenting resolve. They maneuvered with precision, each move calculated, each strike landing true. The Zathrians, once the unstoppable force, were now reeling, their fleet in disarray. For the first time, it was humanity that held the upper hand. The Zathrian retreat began, their ships turning to flee, the once proud empire breaking apart before humanity's unexpected strength. The Zathrian Empire was shaken to its core. Their retreat wasn't a decision made from weakness, it was a recognition of their vulnerability. Humanity, with its creativity and resolve,
had done what no one had believed possible. They had shattered the Zathrian myth of invincibility. In the chaos of the retreat, the Zathrian leaders realized something they had long refused to admit. Humanity was no longer just a primitive race. They were a force to be reckoned with. Cruz stood on the bridge, watching the Zathrians pull back. There was no joy in her eyes, only a quiet recognition of what had been accomplished. They had won, but at what cost? The battle was over, but the war was far from finished. The victory, while sweet, was not without its price. The loss of lives, both human and alien, was deeply felt throughout the fleet. Cruz's heart weighed heavy as she walked through the corridors of the warship, the faces of the fallen haunting her thoughts. Their victory had been hard-earned, and no one would ever forget the sacrifices made. As Cruz met with her team in the aftermath, she knew that the road ahead would be even harder. The Zathrians would not give up easily, and the galaxy was vast and full of threats. Yet for the first time in history, humanity stood as a respected force in the galaxy, its ingenuity recognized by even the most hardened of species. Humanity had earned its place. We rise together, Cruz whispered to herself, knowing the journey was far from over. The universe was vast, and now humanity had a place in it. But there was still much to learn, and many challenges yet to come. The stars shone brightly, as if beckoning humanity to explore further, to reach beyond what they had thought possible. And with that, a new era began. The vastness of space has never felt so small. In the aftermath of the Zathrian defeat, Earth is no longer the quiet, forgotten rock at the edge of the galaxy. It's a symbol, a force. Earth now stands as a key player in galactic affairs, one that's drawn both admiration and fear from alien civilizations. As humanity surveys the stars, there's a quiet tension in the air, a nervous energy that ripples through every corner of the galaxy. Some view Earth as an ally, an up-and-coming species with potential, while others see it as a ticking time bomb, unpredictable and dangerous.
Humanity's victory over the Zathrians has reverberated across the galaxy. But now the question is, where do we go from here? How does one step into the universe with the knowledge that the balance of power has shifted? The weight of this new reality presses down on humanity's shoulders, and the very sight of Earth's leaders standing before the galactic councils is enough to make even the most seasoned politicians pause. The galaxy now watches Earth, not with scorn, but with wariness. The councils are no longer a distant concept. They're within reach. Humanity has earned its seat, but the victory is not without its costs. Diplomacy now becomes the battlefield. The triumph over the Zathrians has brought respect, but also new challenges. Every race has a voice, and each voice carries the weight of its own agenda. The process of establishing Earth's place at this table isn't just about negotiation, it's about survival. Earth must navigate these treacherous waters carefully, balancing power with wisdom, or risk losing it all. The crew of the Vanguard steps onto Earth's surface once more, met with a chorus of cheers, applause, and banners proclaiming their victory. To the public, they are legends, beacons of humanity's strength, perseverance, and hope. Cruz walks among her crew, feeling the warmth of her people's gratitude, but there's a hollow space in her chest that no amount of praise can fill. The smiles are there, but the shadows of the war still cling to her thoughts. Victory came at a steep price. They won, yes, but they lost so much more. The faces of fallen comrades and the haunting images of the battles they fought flash through Cruz's mind as she steps forward. She knows what others don't, that the fight is far from over. The weight of Earth's new power is both a blessing and a curse. Cruz and her crew know it. They fought for this moment, but as they return home, they realize the victory has only made the universe more dangerous. Tensions between alien factions rise. New threats stir in the shadows of the galaxy. Earth's newfound prominence means that eyes are constantly watching, there's a lingering feeling of uncertainty. They've won the war, but peace is a far more fragile thing. Earth's arrival at the galactic table is met with mixed reactions. There are those who recognize humanity's brilliance, its resilience. They see Earth as a powerful ally, one that could tip the balance of galactic politics in their favor. But not all are so welcoming. There are others, powerful factions who view humanity's rapid rise as a threat. They've seen what humans can do when pushed to the edge, and they fear what Earth might become in the years to come. Cruz stands at the heart of this shifting political landscape, walking a tightrope between building lasting alliances and fending off those who want to see humanity fall. Each conversation is a battle of wills. Allies are fickle, rivals even more so. Trust is scarce, and betrayal lurks just beneath the surface. The stakes are high, and Cruz must navigate this fragile web of relationships, keeping Earth's interests at the forefront without losing sight of the greater good. Humanity is no longer alone. The alliances formed in the wake of the war give them strength, but also expose them to new risks. Their enemies are watching, waiting for an opportunity to strike. In the halls of the galactic councils, words are weapons, and Cruz must be careful in her negotiations. One misstep could fracture the delicate peace, and with the galaxy's eyes on Earth, any failure would be catastrophic. But there are allies too, races who believe in humanity's potential, who share Earth's vision for a peaceful galaxy. These alliances must be nurtured, defended, and expanded. The game of politics is never a simple one, but it's one Cruz must play if Earth is to survive. In the quiet of her quarters, Cruz reflects on the cost of the war. The Zathrians are defeated, yes, but at what cost? Lives have been lost, entire worlds have been forever changed, and in the aftermath, what does humanity have to show for it? A place at the galactic table, yes, but also a target on their backs. Cruz understands that humanity's true strength lies not in its weapons or alliances, but in something far more fundamental. It lies in their adaptability, their ability to learn, to grow, to change. The lessons of the war are clear to her now. Humanity's greatest weapon isn't the destruction they can wield, but the creativity, resilience, and ingenuity that defines them. It's the ability to adapt in the face of overwhelming odds. Humanity has shown that they are more than just survivors. They are builders, dreamers, innovators. The war is over, but the galaxy is vast, and the challenges ahead are even greater. Cruz knows that the path forward will not be easy. Earth must continue to evolve, to push the boundaries of what they know, and to confront the complexities of the universe with open eyes. The true test of humanity's strength lies ahead, and this time, it won't be fought with weapons, but with the courage to embrace the unknown and face what comes next. The war is over, but the future is anything but certain. Cruz and her team stand at the precipice of a new chapter in humanity's history. The galaxy is vast, filled with new challenges, new enemies, and new possibilities. Earth has earned its place, but that place comes with immense responsibility. The victory over the Zathrians has paved the way for humanity's rise, but now they must navigate a galaxy that is as unpredictable as it is dangerous. As Cruz looks to the stars, she feels a mixture of hope and trepidation. Humanity has proven itself capable of greatness, but they've also learned how quickly that greatness can be shattered. There's no turning back now. The galaxy awaits, and humanity's journey has only just begun. The road ahead is uncertain, but it is theirs to walk with courage, determination, and a willingness to adapt. Humanity will face whatever the future holds, and as Cruz looks up, she knows one thing for certain: they rise together. Earth had once been a speck on the galactic map, insignificant, unknown, and isolated. But now, after the victory over the Zathrians, Earth stood tall among the stars. As the blue planet took its place on the galactic councils, the weight of its newfound position was felt across the galaxy. Allies looked on with awe, some even offering congratulations,
while others, more cautious, sized humanity up with suspicion, wondering if Earth's rise would be a blessing or a threat. Humanity, for all its ingenuity and determination, was now a beacon of power in the vast unknown. But this position came with its own set of challenges. Earth had to forge new treaties, build fragile alliances, and carefully navigate the political webs of established species. There was so much to gain, and so much to lose. The stars that once felt distant now felt within reach. But humanity was not alone. New enemies lurked, hidden behind the mask of diplomacy, while old enemies of the Zathrians still watched, waiting for an opening. What was a victory to some was a warning to others. Humanity's future was uncertain, and despite their triumph, the galaxy was full of unknowns. The opportunity was immense, but so were the risks. Captain Cruz had been through hell, leading humanity's forces against a galactic menace, watching friends fall, and carrying the burden of victory. But now, the mantle she bore was heavier than any before. No longer a soldier, Cruz found herself in a seat of power, forced to lead humanity into a new era of peace. She had saved Earth once, but could she keep it safe now? The weight of leadership pressed down on her, a constant reminder of the delicate balance she had to strike. Her mind, once focused on the battlefield, now had to shift. There were no more enemies to fight with weapons. Now, Cruz had to fight battles of negotiation, of diplomacy, forces she knew far less about. The stakes were no longer lives lost in combat. Now entire civilizations depended on the decisions she made. But power brought its own dangers. Cruz had earned humanity's place, but would the galaxy ever fully accept Earth as a partner? Would her leadership be enough to protect her people from those who saw humanity's rise as a threat? Even within Earth, there were factions at odds, each with their own vision for the future. Some wanted to preserve the status quo, while others demanded rapid expansion. Cruz's moral compass was constantly tested. The choices she made now could determine not just Earth's fate, but the fate of countless species across the stars. The galaxy stretched before humanity, like an open book, filled with opportunity. But with opportunity came danger. Humanity now had the power to reshape the universe, but with that power came the risk of losing what made Earth unique. The rapid pace of technological progress could easily corrupt the very ideals humanity had fought to protect. Would they build a future of peace, or would they descend into the same cycle of greed and exploitation that had destroyed so many before them? To advance too quickly would be to risk forgetting their past, their history, their core values. Progress without purpose could lead to destruction, and humanity had to be careful. They had to learn from their past mistakes, ensuring that they did not repeat the errors that had once brought them to the brink of extinction. The galaxy was vast, and so was the potential for both greatness and downfall. As Earth navigated this new chapter, they had to be mindful of their responsibility, not just to their own survival, but to the other species they now shared the stars with. The future was uncertain, and though their victories were significant, the journey ahead would require wisdom, restraint, and careful consideration. Only then could humanity truly thrive in the galactic community. The road ahead was daunting, filled with unknowns that could shift humanity's course at any moment. Yet, even in the face of such uncertainty, Cruz felt a spark of hope. Humanity had shown resilience before. They had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious. The same determination that had led them to defeat the Zathrians now fueled their journey forward. In the face of darkness, humanity had found a light, and now they would carry that light into the stars. Cruz stood at the edge of Earth's future, gazing up at the infinite expanse. The past was behind them, but the present was a crossroads. Earth had risen from the ashes of isolation, and now stood poised to explore the vast, unknown galaxy. The future held both limitless possibilities and unimaginable risks, but humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt. Cruz knew that whatever came next, humanity would face it together. A new chapter had begun, and though the path forward was unclear, one thing was certain: humanity was no longer just a speck in the universe. They were a force to be reckoned with.